Just a few days ago, June 2nd, Monday 2025, 5 p.m., a 17 years old TikToker, Sana Yousuf from Pakistan is being shot to death in her home, Islamabad, by a 22 years old male, Umar Hayat, who got inside her room and shot her to death. The latest high-profile instance of suspected femicide in Pakistan. Why? Let's find out. Sana Yousuf was a social media influencer. Originally from Chitral, a city about 400 kilometers, which is 250 miles north of Islamabad, having pretty rich following on social media, only TikTok, 700,000 followers before her death, and now around 1.7 mil, which is strange. By profession, she wanted to become a doctor. But as you know, fame is something can keep your dopamine pretty high, and of course, when you have a 0% of life's experience and at the same time dancing under the spotlights in front of millions, then get prepared for the daily surprises and the shocks that you are not well prepared or well trained. So what exactly happened to this teenager, why she was killed? Now, according to the police, it was a case of multiple rejections. Means 22 years old Umar Hayat wanted her to be his girlfriend, but she was keep rejecting him.
Basically, it was a case of repeated rejections.
And this was going on and off for 1 year. It all started when she started to ignore him. They had been connected, exchanged text, might have met, and eventually she made her mind, nah, that's not the one I want to be with, which turned out to be an offensive to this young sociopath, Umar Hayat. By the way, let's find out who is Umar Hayat.
मेरी मॉम पूछ रही है कि तुम काम क्या करते हो?
मैं गैंगस्टर
He belonged to a broken family. Father had 4 wives. Umar was from the 4th. His biological mother was dead. His elder brother had 2 wives, and one of the wives he had problems. Marital life was sucked, and he took his own life by the overdose of the drugs. According to the neighbors and friends of Umar, whenever they saw him, they spotted him with his mobile phone, staying in his own fantasy world. He was completely lost. I have mentioned a few times before in my podcast about some of the characteristics of the serial killers. The history is filled with serial killers who were obsessed with their own fantasy worlds. And this obsession is the main root of the bigger problems. And if this is not being controlled, more Ted Bundys and Jeffrey Dahmer, Javed Iqbal, Mughal, John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, and the list goes on and on. Characters like Umar Hayat will keep coming into the society. How it led Umar to kill Sana. 2 months prior, he wanted to meet Sana. She refused. He used to show her that how rich he is, which he was not actually. He used to rent a car and drive to her, according to the police, on May 27, 2025. As she turned 17 on her birthday, he wanted to see her and bought so many gifts and for her birthday. He was being rejected as it was a private birthday party and only few close friends were invited. But as she posted her birthday photos on her social media, which pissed Umar off, he was in rage. He took firearm and waited near Sana's house for about 7 hours. When he realized no one is coming out of the house, he returned home. And back home, he gave multiple thoughts, and then on June 2nd, he came back to Sana's home with his firearm. Sana's mother came out of the house in order to get to the market to shop for the Eid festival, which is now just past today on 7th of June 2025. Sana's mother somehow forgot to close the main entrance. He sneaked, according to the local media, he sneaked inside the house as Sana's family was living in the rental house as tenants on the upper floor. He went to the upper floor. In her room, Sana's aunt heard a loud bang twice, and she rushed to Sana's room and saw Umar Hayat shot her twice in her chest, and she was laying down on the floor with a pool of blood. After killing her, he also took her mobile phone in order to delete or tamper all the evidences of the chat history, whatever was in the mobile phone. When Umar saw Sana's aunt, he pointed the gun to her. She was scared, and then he escaped. According to the police, he took a taxi and reached the bus station, took a bus and returned to his city. He left the SUV Toyota Fortuner, which was from the rental, never paid, and later was arrested from his city, from his home. And you need to understand, police took almost 20 hours. It is pretty fast actually, but it is also a big time slot if someone wants to tamper or delete all the chat history from the mobile phone. But there are so many ways. If he has no any knowledge, but if he's very smart, her in the IT, which people are, especially when you are obsessed with something, you are also very smart to find the way before you are doing any criminal activity, how you are going to escape from it or whatever you want to do. In the police conference, police already said they have found some of the text messages which he has been texting her, threatening her that if she's not gonna listen to him for real, he's gonna murder, which she didn't take it very serious, and that really happened. Police already recovered the firearm and the mobile phone. And honestly, some people are that lost in their own world, they don't even pay attention on anything, because they are going through a phase of fame which put a blindfold on most of them, especially the newly famous, inexperienced or newly born stars, you may call. The pressure keep them in the state of showing off without paying any attention on their own surroundings, which could result horrible on the end of the road. And that exactly what happened here. There is something which shocked me after this ordeal, which is also pretty interesting. Two groups became active on the social media. One of the group talk against the killer, and second group expressed as a simple revenge. Now this is interesting. You may call it devil's timing or coincidence. 2021, just few days before the Eid al-Adha, the Eid festival, Noor Muqaddam was shot with the same or similar reasons. As just now, few days before the Eid al-Adha, today is the Eid festival, Sana Yousuf is shot with a similar reason. That is quite interesting. There are many layers of the case would be peeled off. According to the 16-20-65 Act, anyone who has used firearm without genuine cause, like self-defense, etc., will be prosecuted. But here, if someone has used firearm which is licensed to person A, and A handed over his firearm to person B, and he shot somehow, both will be prosecuted accordingly. Pleasure of being noticed by the millions can lead you to do those things which you never tried before, and you will just go further and further. We have now mostly broken societies, broken families. Now, don't get me wrong, the era before internet, which is 70s or 80s, was a golden era. Same societies were connected with each other in real. We used to care for real. We used to be humans for real. That also doesn't mean that we lost all the ethics, humanity in Pakistan, but also, if you ask me honestly, not only in Pakistan but elsewhere, everywhere we have broken societies, broken families. Just take a look on the Jerry Springer show and you will know what I'm talking about. For your information, just last days of the May 2025, right few days before this murder, another TikToker, Ikra, was killed by her cousin. the thing which saddened me, she was in a medical and becoming a doctor, and said a few times that in her town there are less doctors and she would serve her town. Her father started a movement following her daughter's ambitions, but today she's gone. And when her dead body was taken back to her hometown, there was a rush of people to send condolences. Like Sana, there are many girls have lost their lives, like Sarah Inam, Wajiha Sawati, Kandil Bloch. And I believe when the laws are not implemented in the state, people start making their own laws and start justifying their society with such kind of act. I would not comment on Sana's case except the followings. Parents should monitor their kids' activities, especially knowing there are predators all over the place in prey to hunt someone down for their hunger. If any further updates would be come across, I would certainly bring to you. And if you are a fan of the dark, mysterious, true crime, horror, true story, movie recaps, reviews, please stick with me. That's all I do. I'm producing once or twice a week to my social media networks. And as always, please take care of yourself and your surroundings. I am Uzair Sipra. Until next time.